Okay, there are quite a number of things that I want us to cover. Okay, today I want us to cover in Dabaga Prekatia Bongani Gininda, talking about the confession from accused number 1. And yeah, there's something that I want us to cover about that. And then I want us to cover the issue of the father of Bongan. Not Bongan, but the father of Zungu, right? We'll cover those 2 or 3 aspects in this specific video. Now, according to Prakatia Bongane, Ntanzi did not enter the house. He was standing outside outside, right? In the scene, right? Right there. There's something that gives us a bit of a problem here. How does the confession of accused number 1 make sense if he was standing in the yard? It's something that we did not pay attention to. Otherwise, what accused number 1 confessed to, it is a hearsay.
Does not come from accused number 1. In other words, they're saying that accused number 1 is not the source of what is contained in this document, that accused number 1 was approached with these documents already completed. Now, what is your comment, given the contents of the document?
Mase sikhuluma ke ukuthi ke umsolo oqala wavuma icala ku Mbotho. Ubekwa umsolo uqala uthi yena the confession lena noma wamukela icala lokho kukhona lapha kuphumi kuyena uthi ke le document le ephethe ke ukwamukela icala yafika kuyena isibhaliwe. Thini ngalokho?
My lord, that cannot be true, and I'm basing that on the details that are in this confession that could only have been known by accused number 1. I did not even know the details that are contained here, and I can deal with them as we go along.
Manje mina ke ngigxile kakhulu noma ngicike kakhulu ekutheni lokhu okukhishiwe lana kukhishwe imininingwane eminingi ebingaziwa kuphela umsolo uqala. So lokho ukuthi statement lesasiphuma kuyena ngeke ukwazi ukuba iqiniso ngoba eminingi lemininingwane kwasamina bengeke ngiyazi ngangayazi.
The first point of departure, my lord, is that at the time when accused number 1 was approached, the only evidence that we had in the form of a sworn affidavit was the statement from Absolute Zungu, and that statement implicated him and accused number 2.
Because he was not there. Guys, come this side. We need to talk. If accused number 1 confessed and he was standing outside, his confession is a hearsay. He did not see what was happening inside the house. He doesn't know what happened inside the house. Everything he knows is just everything he confessed to is a hearsay. He was never there. Right? Let's move to the other aspect. So, accused number 1, according to Prakatia Gininda, confessed unprovoked, right? He described things as per Brigadier Gininda will say the things that he described are the things that the people inside the house said they've seen. And I was like, okay. So in other words, he must be accurate because what he says, the people who are inside the house seems to collaborate what he says. So according to that version, it means that what he says, it's not necessarily an hearsay because it's accurate. But don't worry. I'm going to take you through this journey. This is going to be one of the most interesting videos you have ever seen, right? According to this, right, accused number 1 look, they went and they consulted with Babzwane, which is a traditional healer of some sort, who, by the way, was paid 50 rand for consultation. Hey, I don't know, maybe in 2014 people were paying much less, eh? Hey, for such a job, people were paying much less for such a job. I can't. Don't pay more. I think you need to pay a little. Just do this. If you are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Come on, good people. Because to subscribe, it is free. To like the video, it is free. To comment in the comment section below, it is free of charge. To click the notification bell, it is free of charge. To share this video, it is free of charge. To watch this video until the end, it is free of charge. Also, good people, come on, to watch the ads, it's free of charge, and that's how you financially contribute to this YouTube channel. Speaking about financially contributing to the channel, you can become a member of this YouTube channel from as little as 20 Rand a month. You can also use the super thanks button. In case you don't want to do that, guys, there is a way where you can use my media company banking details to donate to the channel, and you know what I'm saying, we'll bring you more, and also guys want to buy more equipment. So the power is in your hands. Please do the honorable thing as we proceed. Let's go. Now there's another aspect. Brigadier Gininda tells us that Muziga Ukulolasibi confessed, but he lied. Now notice this. He lied about the grey polo. The polo that was driven by Unkani, actually, it was not necessarily the right color. Do you notice the problem in this confession? I don't know if you see. We've got a lot of problems in this confession. A lot. And then Brigadier Gininda then he tells us that Marco and Makimbi were not at the scene of incident on the 26th of October 2014. They were both arrested at Kalagabusha prison at the time. But in the confession of accused number 1, they are there. Now, notice that the confession, something that I found inaccurate in the confession is the fact that the grey polo, the polo that he confessed to, was incorrect. Marco and Makimbi were not there. Remember, this is a free and voluntary confession. Wrong polo, wrong color of a polo, wrong people who were arrested. 3, the positioning of the same accused is questionable. So already you've got 3 things here that are questionable. Mind you, it's still a free and voluntary confession. Hey, wait for me, I'm coming. So, that's why the defense said no, man. We need to look at this confession, from word to word, so we can understand this confession as we should, because there are things that must be understood in this confession that does not make logical sense, such as about grammar and everything. Maybe the person who wrote this is the person who's presenting this as a fact. Okay? Now, we're going to come back here. Now, Absalom Zungu is the father of Zungu the liar, who, in this story, the person who actually caused these people to be arrested is not Zungu, but it is Absalom Zungu. So we've got 4 problems now. Problem number 4 is that when Zungu was brought here, he was supposed to be a key witness who saw everything. He even testified along those lines, only to be told today that basically he saw. Remember that he tells us how he saw them living. He gives us this description of them moving together if Zungu lied, and the confession, you already find that the confession has got 3 loopholes in itself, why must we believe Zungu? Because now it has proven under oath he lied. So, according to this, Absalom made a first statement that led to the arrest of accused number 1 and 2, right? So, accused number 1 and 2 were arrested not because of it is not because of Zungu, the one who lied. Do you remember in court when he was asked, why did you take this long for us to have this happening? Do you remember how he responded? He said that that is why they are here, insinuating or implying that, you know what, I've kept my evidence. Do you remember 47 years? Do you remember Zungu? Do you remember that Zungu was taken somewhere where there was Abolibia on Abawan who said, no, this guy is lying? Do you remember all of that? It turns out that when they said this guy was lying, they were not lying. Look at this. Gininda himself says the arrest was not because of accused number, it was not because of Zungu, but it was because of his father. But Zungu in court claimed all the credit. Do you remember that? There's something that I want us to talk about today. It's going to be interesting, don't worry. So then we check the thing that I said, it's very important that we revisit them. There's something that I want to show you. So then accused number 1, Muziga Ukulasbia, confessed and then starting the point out. Okay, so then he's busy doing the point out. There's something about the point out as well that we need to talk about. But we'll come back to the actual confession. But let's jump into this one. So Sibia was never coerced to sign before Lieutenant Mboto Hadebe. This guy, Gininda says that's a rubbish thing. Mboto and Hadebe did not know anything about this case. I was also shocked by the details after the confession and the appointment. Look, you see, here, you can't lie and say you didn't know. Number one, there's something that I want to show you here. For the fact that you were able to run an intelligence on a person, it shows that you obtain certain information and details about the person that they themselves were not even aware that you are following them, you are tracking them. So you can't now come and say you didn't know anything. For the fact that you were able to get him arrested, it shows that you're capable of obtaining information. Don't now come and pretend as if when you don't know anything about the accused, but you were able to arrest him through intelligence, which gathered information on him without him knowing. Clearly, there's more that you know about him. For the fact that you were able to gather intelligence and get people around him and he's walking around, is being spotted, it shows that there are things that, you guys got to know about him that he probably didn't even know. So let's not play the game that we didn't even know anything about him, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Muziga Ukulasbia provided the details on how they planned. There's something interesting about this, right? There's something how they planned and how Kelikumale was the mastermind. Muziga Ukulasbia was given 30,000 rand. Look, and then he was paid. Ubaba was paid 500. You know that money, the traditional healer. This money, guys, is too small. You are killing a soccer star. You are given 30,000. You are then, mind you, we're not even talking about the confession of accused number 2. You then pay this person 500 rand. Guys, does it make sense though? Like this confession, I'm surprised that this confession was accepted. This confession leaves a lot to be desired. But let's proceed. There are things that I want to show you guys which are very interesting. So the DNA exclude them and everything else, but Gininda is trying by all means to bring them this thing. Somebody once said that, look, accept circumstantial evidence and coerced confession, especially after the DNA and the cell phone record stated otherwise. Can Brigadier Gininda and the state place the accused at the crime, at the scene of crime? I doubt Tabo underscore Ramo Happy. I doubt that can ever happen. Now, here is the creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying? Here is what takes the cup. Listen to this one. So this accused he get arrested. In his confession, he doesn't confess to any other crime but the Meyiwa case. You know, somebody asked this question and say, Sibiya, accused number 1, was arrested for drug dealing, then confessed to the killing of sons of Meyiwa. Does it make sense? Why doesn't he confess to the other crimes? To those with high level of IQ, because Tina, our IQ is very, you know what I'm saying? Our IQ is questionable. So please make it make sense to us. Accused number 1, Muzigakulo Lasbiya, he gets arrested. After getting arrested for the drug case, he doesn't confess to that, but rather he confessed to a different case. Make it make sense to us, because some of you think that you are smart. So we'll take that you are smart, but make this thing make it sense to us. So somebody then says the state believes Kelly Kumalo is the mastermind behind the Sons of Meyiwa murder. She hired 5 accused to carry out the hit. Shortly, wa more fair, on Twitter. Okay. Shortly, okay, yeah. Let's leave it here for now. Here is my interest in this video. Questions that I need them to be answered. Accused number 1 is outside, and he described what happens inside, right? And still doesn't amount to a hearsay. He gives wrong description about the Paulo. He brings 2 people, Marco and Makimbi, into this thing who were not there. What more evidence do you want? He doesn't confess to the crimes, the drug and everything. He only confessed to the Meyiwa case. You still want to convince me that the confession was not, this people was not coerced to confess. I mean, it will take somebody with some sort of low IQ to believe that. So the reason I decided to revisit this is because as I am going through the evidence again, and I'm like, nah, man, something needs to be said about this. There's something that is not sitting right with me. This confession was never free and voluntarily. This confession, they were coerced into making this confession. This was never a free and voluntary confession. Mind you, I have not even dealt with accused number 2's confession, which is contradicting it's a mutual. These are called mutual disruptive versions of the same event or about the same event. Accused number 1 confessed, but his confession is contradicting the one of accused number 2 about the same day, and you still want to tell me you don't see that there's something wrong about the confession itself. Hey guys, I don't know what happened. I wanna get manch. Okay, yeah, we're back. So you still want to tell me that you don't know, you still want to tell me, or you still want to convince yourself that there is nothing wrong with the confession, even though the confessions were free and voluntary, yet the confessions has a lot of errors in it, and you still want to be like, make it make sense to me here. When accused number one confessed, why didn't he confess to the other crimes? Because he was eager to confess. Why didn't he confess to the other crime? Well, some of us, we are considered less educated. So probably our opinion are less educated too. So we'll accept that. To those who are educated, please make it make sense to us in the comment section below.